Hello, greetings. This is Gilles. I wanted to wish you a happy Sunday. Continue to discuss those ideas on essential wisdom. For essential wisdom, it's something practical and theory, there's ideas and practicality as well. For wisdom is the socialization of love. It is the application of knowledge. It is something that is not that's inexhaustible. We can always gain more wisdom. And there is an invocation. Invocation is something we remember, we invoke. It's like a mantra. And if you use that mantra all day, for a whole day, at the end of the day, you will be completely enlightened. But enlightened, it will take more than one day. But it's a process. And this is the simple mantra. It says, I am love, I am light, I am a child of the universe, I am a son of God, I am a pure expression of the wisdom of God. Or you can adapt it to whatever that feels right to you. But I am love, I am light, I am a child of the universe, I am a son of or daughter of God, and I am the pure expression of the wisdom of God. And so those replace, whenever we have negative thoughts, you replace I am love, I am light, I am, just simply that. You replace those thoughts, you breathe and you repeat this one time, 10 times, 100 times, as many times as necessary, and then you will see that it will clear up your mind. It is very, very powerful, while at the same time you imagine you fusing your consciousness with that of your creator. It is the same process as when the Muslim prayer, when you turn to God and you pray, you unify, you connect, or the mantra Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Sebayot, you repeat 108 times. It is so powerful mantra. Or the Our Father in the Catholic prayer. It's like those are very, very powerful, and so we want to be optimistic. I want to rebound on what I said yesterday. It's very important. There was a book by Voltaire named Candide, or the Optimism, where optimism is essential. It is. I also recommend, if you have time, for we are in seclusion right now, we are sequestered, and so it's to listen to some philosophers like Sénèque and Plutarch. Those are during the time of the fourth century AD, but they're Stoic philosophers, the Platonician, and I'm going to return about Plato. Plato also is very essential. It's very fun to listen to. Plato teaches us the Socratic wisdom and the Socratic dialogue, but it's very easy. Those are not hard. It's not like Kant, I love Immanuel Kant or Spinoza, but those are really hard to integrate. It's very complex approach in the mind. As a lot. When Sénèque, Plutarch, or Plato is very easy, and anybody can open their mind to that, for we are in service to God, service to humanity, and service to the planet. That gives us meaning into our life. For we have first to take care of our own self. For there is a lot of things going on in the world that are completely misaligned with what I like, and it's part of the process. But there's everything has a function. It serves a function for a lot of people. So not everything has to, in the banquet of life, there may only be one or two meals that you like. But as long as you find what you like, that's what's important, and let anybody else eat whatever they want to eat and nourish themselves. For we have to respect, even in channeling perspective. Sometimes I listen to channeler, to respect their spiritual ways, even if what they're saying something that is the truth, and there is no other truth. Everybody that does not agree with my truth is completely in illusion. For me, it's like sometimes they are themselves in illusion in saying that, because my own personal revelation of truth is somewhat different. But it's because God is allowing them to go through that process in order to achieve their own enlightenment. So it's not about judging them for their for what they've been going through. For there is countless angles of vision, and truth only God knows, because God has all the angles of vision, all the perspective from the highest to the lowest. And so we want to be as circular as possible in our thoughts, in order to be able to embrace a circular vision, a circular perspective that comes in. And so understanding right now that in May, there is all the planets are going retrograde, all the major planets. So it's time where we're going to be able to review and integrate so much. It's kind of rare that those things happen. For this present crisis as a spiritual function, it is to reinforce our connection to our source within ourselves. in order to prepare ourselves for the storm that is coming. For there is a storm coming after that that will be a lot stronger. But our greatest protection is our connection to God, our connection to our source within. Once we invoke this power of being the light, of recognizing yourself in the light, in the love, you don't even have to ask for perfection, for you get it anyway. It's part of the process of once you tune into your creator, you get more protection than if you ask for protection, as you think that God is some separate energies that needs to come from the outside in order to send angels to protect you. Yet you can always, if you see a situation that is delicate, send an angels in situation in the aura of all the people. You don't have to qualify. Just that all the people within the situation may be assisted by angels to bring this situation into balance and harmony, and that is like a prayer. For there is a great deal of acceleration. This crisis has created so much acceleration. It is amazing, even more than what it was expected, and it's pushing all kinds of things to the surface. And what we need to do is to get a sense of priority, to know what we need to do first. And so I'm like, today is. When I said that, there's something that came to my mind, so I'm gonna put it in the agenda. So we want to move forward. We want to know that we're moving towards the light. For anybody that's not moving towards their own light, towards the light, we will be returning into darkness, into ignorance, and to develop this lucidity. For in France, there is a great deal of incoherence in relationship to the management of the crisis and common law and constitution. But in America, I can see that for a long time, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution were kind of put aside. So hopefully this will be all, America will let go of the Corporation of America to return to a Republic of America. There is a great deal of transmutation that is going on throughout the whole world right now. It's all accelerated. For it's like right now we're feeling the birth pain, and the birth pain of the planet, the birth pain of ourselves, or we want to be reborn. But even though birth is very can be very painful, it also offers great opportunity for future experiences. So we want to be born into this fifth dimension and to realize the planet is also being born into higher dimension. For with the reverse of self and planet, an important concept that we'll eventually have to prove scientifically. It's like right now we have this belief that death is permanent and life is temporary. We live a temporary life and death is permanent. Well, this is actually an illusion. For life is eternal and death is temporary. It is the opposite. For death is only a portal that brings us back to the plane of the light that we came from, and then we return into this realm of physicality. Very soon, at the end of the process, this is like a prologue. This crisis, like a prologue to great changes that will be happening. The final step will probably be Maitreya, the Lord Maitreya, which is a great ascended master. He was the master guide of Lord Sananda, of Lord Gautama, I'm sorry, the master guide of Lord Buddha, who is the cosmic Christ, is the future Buddha, and his philosophy is laughter. And he has been commissioned, the company of heaven asked him to be the one to reveal the truth to all of humanity. So at the end, at the final step, he will be the one that will seize the control of all medias, to communicate in all languages simultaneously throughout the whole world, to restore the memory and the truth to humanity. And those who have not access to the media, he will communicate to them telepathically. And so it's a very, very powerful spirit. It dwells essentially in the pink light and the ruby light of the mother. For now, it is important to return to those light chamber, to ask when you dream, when you sleep, is to ask spirit whatever you want, is to ask them, because while we sleep there is so much we can achieve, we can do. We may not remember it all, but it serves us. And right now the only thing we see in the media, it's like there is this book called The Republic of Plato, where Plato, on the chapter 9, at the end of chapter 9, it's very, very short, it's like a half a page, he created this allegory of the cavern. It inspired the movie Matrix, but this little allegory goes so far. I mean, there is also a lot of things in Matrix that's not in Plato, but there is a lot of things in Plato that's not in Matrix as well. So I'm not removing any of the originality or the meaning of that movie that was extremely powerful and still is, once you make abstraction of the violence, the martial arts and special effect. There is a deep philosophical meaning behind that as a warning to humanity. But Plato explains to us that this, please look it up on the internet if you're not, if you haven't seen that allegory of the caverns. For everything that is being commented on the media are just shadows on the wall that are being projected by controllers, and they're commenting the shadows, their relationship, the quality of the shadows, but in essence, the allegory says that at some point we removed forcefully one of the prisoners. They don't want to be outside of the. They don't want to leave their shadow. The comments on the shadows. They want to be observing those shadows. But then we remove forcefully. We show him what. The person, what is the projection, and the projection is they're just illusions that are projected on there, and then we throw him outside, and he sees the sun for the first time. He's completely blind for weeks, and eventually at night he can see the reflection on the pond, and then after months and months, he can see the true light of the sun, the light of the soul, the eternal light of truth. For Plato was trying to reveal to us this higher frequency, and then he realized that he would be better as the slave of the worst tyrant and up there in the real world, in the world of eternal, and the real world, than to return to become whatever inside the cavern. But he has the compassion of returning. He wants this compassion to return to save those in the caverns, but they're really hostile towards these ideas of wanting to being free, to move towards the light, and they want to stay in the cavern. And so he was talking essentially about Socrates, who was put to death because some absurd reason, and he also talks about the Christ who saw this true light of the sun, this true light of God, and he wanted to free humanity, but humanity was not very welcoming. But now we're moving into a time of global ascension. So I recommend you look, if you haven't seen it, to read, to go through the whole book. The whole book is a manifest of philosophy that's exceptional, the Republic of Plato. But even just a look at the Cavern of Plato, and you realize that most of what we've been taught is not real. It is just a conditioning, a propaganda. And yet there is different level. It's all about sincerity. There are some that are sincere and those who are less sincere. And eventually we'll see through the veil for what we've been presented in the media, saying, well, those are the good guys and those are the bad guys. We'll see at the end, they were not real. We have to feel that for ourselves, sense that for ourselves. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. For it is, we're living in a great shifting time, so we want to enjoy, and also a process of manifestation that is very important. I'm going to pull 4 cards. For right now, it's like all that we need to understand and seek will not be solved by the ego. It's a threefold riddle. It cannot be intellectually resolved. You have to allow yourself to let your soul teach you, to let the light reveal itself, because a lot of the solution we're seeking in the physical plane do not exist there, but they exist on the spiritual. We have to let go of the shadows in order to. So what we need to understand is the street spirit is that we're growing. There is the sense of growth. What we have to do is the solar return. It's like a turning point. It's a very, very powerful. It's an eclipse. It's a very, very powerful shift, and it's like we'll never return to the old ways. We have to accept to turn the corner and let go of the past. What's important is the future that we can create in the now, and the outcome is slay the ego. It's like all of those egos will be slayed. Everything that is illusion will fall away. It's disempowered right now, and so we want the soul to become the controller. And so this will be the essence. A lot of the powers that be will be very disturbed in this in those future times. Only those who are truly aligned who are fully in their mission, in their soul mission, will be allowed to stay. Those who are manipulating the world will have to let the place for new generations of. There is certain transparency that is required and needed. I wanted to speak about the process of manifestation. Well, it's something I've already talked about. The hammock technique. For when we are in a higher planes, we can use that technique to manifest anything we want right away. Like everything appears before us. But here in this dimension, we have to take the time that all the energy comes aligned. But the principle is the same. It's a 3-phase principle. The first one is to know what you want. Whether it be a new car, a new house, a relationship, cheesecake. So, and to know what is it you want as an experience. So it can be anything. You can, and do not limitate yourself. You can have as many dreams and desires as possible. And then if you, to assist, you can create it on a bulletin board to put the pictures, and so that helps you to focus and stay focused to remember what you want. And if you say, well, I don't want, you can always change them if you have some new desires. But to know what you want, first step. Second step is to see yourself interacting with what you want. If it's a new car, see yourself, visualize, imagine yourself driving it. If it's a cake, just imagine yourself eating it. If it's a relationship, feel how good it will be to be in that relationship, or anything else, or to be in your new house. What is it you want in this new house? How you see it decorated, all those things. To interact with your dreams and to already see. And then to find the third step that's very important is the sense of emotion, to put your emotion, your joy, your gratitude, your feeling of fulfillment, of satisfaction, of being, receiving that. If you do not have this sense of satisfaction and well-being when you're interacting with what you want, it means it may not be for you. But if once you're feeling this interaction with what you want, then there is no reason why you shouldn't feel that joy, that gratitude, that sense of gratitude and fulfillment. And so practice that, and then relax, breathe, and let the universe bring it to you in some ways that is aligned with your soul and spirit. Well, I hope this was interesting for you. The paintings behind me, this is a painting, a portrait with a stamp in the middle. It says meditate. It's very important to remind ourselves that we need this peace and quiet every day, at least 10-15 minutes, if possible, in the morning or at night, and we'll do more than can do longer, but at least to have those 10 minutes for yourself where you can let go of all the world, the whole world, all the thoughts, or to observe the thoughts, observe the emotions without reacting to them. And this is a painting that is a celestial painting. It's about the architectural sphere, the invisible world, the planets, and for now, we're moving from third and fourth dimension into fifth, sixth, seventh dimension. We are ascending through the matrix, but the higher matrix. But eventually, we're going to traverse. We're going to learn all the lessons that we need through the 352 dimensions of our Creator universe, and we will achieve the center of our local universe. We'll graduate from this Morantia. Morantia is a created matter and form that's a bridge between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And so we'll graduate from there, and we'll start to traverse the spheres of our minor sector. Then we graduate from there. We'll go into our major sector of our super universe. Then we'll have to visit all 10 major sectors, and eventually we'll come into the spiritual university of Uversa, of the central sphere of our super universe. We'll graduate, we'll come to actually live on Uversa, which is the sphere, the central sphere of our super universe. That's where there is the most diversity in spiritual. It's where the Ancient of Days ruled from there and organized the 100,000 local universe of our super universe. And once we graduate from there, we'll be launched into the eternal adventure. We'll traverse the central universe, and hopefully for some people who fell in this eternal adventure, they are sent back to another super universe, but they never fell twice. So we will go through the 7 circuits of the central universe and eventually emerge as a paradise citizen. We'll find God and become trinitized. So those paintings are celestial. They were inspired by a book, and the Urantia book. It's a very powerful book. It hides a lot of things, but it also reveals a lot of things. Now I'm singing this song. It's about fun and vacation, and it went through my mind, and it goes like this. Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar upon the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof, and the boardwalk down by the sea, on a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, From the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, on a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun under the boardwalk. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk. Boardwalk. It's great. It's fun song. I used to live in Santa Monica in Los Angeles, in California. There are boardwalks, Venice Beach. So there's boardwalks all over the world. Wherever there's oceans, there's those boardwalks. And so let us hope, we're getting ready for some real fun, and for life has to be fun. We have to enjoy ourselves. We have to learn to celebrate life. Once we remove all those things, all the darkness and shadows, we'll be able to see the light and the joy and the happiness that is before us. But we have to remove all those obstacles first. And the retrograde planet will assist us during this month of May. So the card of the day is the 5 of Gabriel. You can undertake a challenge. Remove yourself from people living tragic situation. Be patient toward yourself and others. So essentially, it's like to allow all those people that are commenting the shadows on the wall, that are projecting tragedy into the future of humanity, to let them, to send them love and pray for them, or send them violet fire, or to assist them in whatever, but do not give in to to this flow of energy. They're self-creating this nightmare for themselves because they are lost. And so do not associate yourself with the light, with the pure joy, with as much as possible. The more you cultivate that, the more this light anchors into you, and the more it will greatly assist in the realization and manifestation of your true dreams and desires. Then eventually other people will go into that ship, that Paradise Express, in some sense. But the choices are very important. Some people do not want that. They are stuck in their ego self, and they are reinforcing their fear beliefs and systems. And so no matter what you do, they will not change them. They have to go through those lessons before they let go of that. They let go of the ego and move into the soul and spirit and the love and light. So I am love, I am light, I am that I am. And then you say your name and repeat that to yourself. Thank you very much. Namaste.